Simplified Chaos, episode 192.
Life is beautiful and full of chaos.
And it can get slightly out of hand if that shit's not tamed.
We're here to share how to simplify the little things to help you lead a more intentional life.
This is Simplified Chaos.
Hey everybody, welcome to Simplified Chaos. This is Jillian and I'm with my husband and co-host, Nicholas.
What's happening, folks? We hope you all are having an amazing week. We've got another great episode here for you today. We are continuing our journey of evolving. Jilly, what are we diving into this week?
We will be reflecting on the evolvement of home and social life. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just doing life and, home stuff.
Home stuff like chores and people in our house and all that kinds of stuff. Yeah, we've got a couple of episodes that we are going to reflect on and see how we've evolved over the last couple of years. But before we dive into that, as always, we love to show some gratitude. So, Jilly, what are you grateful for this week?
Oh, man, I am uber grateful for neighbors. Today,
Well, you're stealing mine then.
Well, join the club. Hop on the bus.
I am.
Today was definitely a day that I feel so loved and so grateful for the community we have literally in our community. Lucille got her haircut for the first time. And
Trimmed. But yes.
It's still a haircut.
It
and
is
she's
haircut.
never, I think I was not in a rush to get her hair cut, not only because her hair is beautiful, but also because the hair that's at the very end, like the tips, is that's the hair we saw blowing in the placenta when we got photographs of her in utero. And I was like, that's her placenta hair. No, but she's over 4.5. And the knot game is real, man. Her hair is thin.
It is definitely naughty.
It is naughty. Naughty by nature. And it was time. So we have met new neighbors and their little girls around the same age as Lucille. And the mom she used to be a hairdresser. And she offered, I can give Lucille her first haircut if you want. And we took her up on that this weekend. We went to her house. She got to sit at their island and she was eating lunch and pretzel sticks and lunch meat and getting her hair cut. And it didn't really hit me then. We were all just kind of hanging at their house and we're really good friends. So just hanging out, Lucille's getting her hair cut and just seeing the little piece of the hair fall. Lucille's being a trooper and the girls got to play afterwards. And then it didn't hit me till later on at the end of the day where I was just oh my God, Lucille got her first haircut and it was at a friend's house and it was so magical and so blissful. And also another neighbor of ours, kind of offered to take Lucille because her son just loves Lucille. And we dropped Lucille off at her other neighbor's house and they got to have this little play date. So it was Nick and I had this little date night at the house. Nick made fantastic margaritas.
Yeah.
Your cocktail game is on point, as always.
Always been.
So we had delicious steak and some cocktails while Lucille was playing with another neighbor. And I'm just really, really, truly grateful for the community that we're in and the people we've met and how supportive they are. And Nick keeps staring at the microphone.
Keeps dropping. If you hear me making adjustments, it keeps getting lower and lower. It's starting to piss me off.
Getting low. But yeah, let's be grateful for the microphone. And
yeah, we were just talking how this thing has survived 3 years on this podcast.
Know.
Actually, no, I'm sorry, 4 years. And this arm or whatever you think called, I don't even know what our equipment's called, but it is struggle city right now. It keeps moving.
I know. We love you, microphone.
It's at the end of the road.
We'll be investing in new ones, I'm sure, soon with the shifts that are coming. So yeah, Nick,
my audio is going to improve.
What are you grateful for today besides your decaying microphone?
Yeah. Well, the same thing. I feel the exact same way. It was such a cool experience to be with our friends and to watch that whole experience, watch her eating her lunch meat while she was getting her hair cut. And it was funny, she's never had a haircut before, never even, the only thing that's ever been done with her hair is us combing it. And obviously it gets a little knotty, and that is a struggle for her, but like she didn't know how it was going to feel, which I thought it was interesting. She had to see like her friend kind of get her hair trimmed just a little bit just to show. And then she's like, here, let me show you what it's like. And so like, she didn't know if it was going to hurt or whatever. And it turns out it's like, yeah,
it's attached to us.
Exactly.
Like, why doesn't it hurt to get a cut?
So I just thought that was really cool that she was a little concerned about that. But nah, they are awesome. Our neighbors are great. We want to return the favors for them, and make sure that they're accountable so that they get time with themselves. And actually it's funny, like we do have a date exchange coming up here relatively soon, where for Valentine's Day, we are watching our neighbor's daughter, and then we're going to go out the following Saturday to kind of celebrate both of our birthdays together. So it's just awesome that we're able to do that she's got such great friends in the neighborhood. They're all around the same age, and that the parents are just willing to do these kinds of things. So it's just really awesome considering, we are away from family and we need to find a support group here. So we have definitely built a group of support.
And we take full advantage of it. We say
Hell
yes
yeah.
often. You want to help?
We do.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
And we're here for you as well, because...
You really don't mind? You sure? And they're like, yep, let's do it. So
excellent.
And it's really easy, especially... A lot of our neighbors, they also have one child. So for there to be two children, you would think it would be more difficult. But the fact that they play together, they don't need you to play with them. It just actually is a lot easier than having just one sometimes. Mm-hmm. So it's just unique.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't even think about both neighbors only have one kid. So
yeah.
It adds a nice flavor to the mix when you have another child in your home to just kind of like... entertain and play and engage while you can be like, oh great, I can just get a little break. Not that Lucille does not dive into creative land on her own.
Oh, she does. She
got lost in creative land today for a really long time this morning. It was really kind of fun to watch. But it's always nice for those moments where, she's just going to want, connection with you. And we give her a lot of connection time, but it's always nice to, have a break and have another awesome kid to kind of like dive into her world with her. So, yeah.
So yeah, good times, good stuff. Now it's time to dive into our evolving series once again. And if y'all don't remember, there are now only 8 episodes of Simplified Chaos left. We're going to keep throwing that out there. And for those of you who are just hearing this for the first time, go back and check out episode 190 to hear our full announcement. But no, Jilly, we're going to be talking a little bit about how we upkeep the house and how things have changed, over the years, and how we've made the house even more accessible for Lucille. So how did you want to kick this one off?
Well, I guess you're really good at painting a picture of what it was like before. So
Sure.
Did you want to start by just, referencing a couple of episodes and like what the situation was before to kind of give people like a little...
So we're kind of going back to 3 episodes here for you. The first one was episode 32, where we talked about creating an accessible household for kids. So that one was on August 5th, 2019. And at the time we had just Lucille. She was a little over a year old. And a month later, her cousin was going to be born, who was coming into our house as well, because we were co-living. And we also had an episode on co-living, which was episode 68. It was called 2 Families in One House, which aired on April 13th, 2020. And then we also had another episode, which was episode 33. So I'm kind of jumping around here a little bit, which was Simplifying Household Chores. And those are all just great episodes, but we've obviously evolved since then. When we think about where we were in 2019, 2020, we were back in Maryland. We were living in a 2-story home. It was probably 2,700 square feet. So 4 bedrooms, 2 full baths, 1 half bathroom on the main level. And then we had a finished basement as well. And we were living with Jill's sister and her boyfriend at the time, now husband, father of 3 kids now. And it was just, a really awesome situation. We had plenty of space, and there was also 3 dogs in the house as well. So a lot going on in the Koselniak household, and it was a big house to upkeep. And there, of course, when you have a 1-year-old baby who's starting to walk and get around and get into things, it's just like, okay, do we have to child-proof the house? What do we do here? And we took a little bit of a different approach to it and really made the house accessible. And I think maybe we start there and how we've evolved in making the house accessible for Lucille now that she's 4.5 years old going on 5.
Yeah. I mean, from the very get-go, we decided that we don't want our house to be child-proof. We want it to be friendly for all. And like, we
wanted her to explore.
Yeah. How do we create a house that's like a yes house? Like, we're not saying no, like, no, don't do that. No, don't. It's like, everything's yes. Like, she can climb on that. She can jump, whatever the situation is. And it's kind of evolved to be the same kind of rule applies, if you will. Our house right now is half the size. I call it like this small little cottage. It's a rancher. It is 3 bedrooms, 2 full baths, about like 1,500 square foot, would you say?
Roughly.
It is.
So definitely more than half the size.
Yeah, it is the just right size. And we decided everything we were going to bring in our new home, we want everything to be accessible to everyone. We want it to be a yes home again. So when thinking about the couches, the chairs, any kind of furniture, we want Lucille to be able to interact with it and not feel like we have to keep things from her or hide things from her or put things in a different spot. So that's kind of where we are now. Like, our chairs, our couch, she can have her way with it. She can jump on it. She can climb on it. She can move things. And I will say, like, it makes parenting so much more relaxed when you create an atmosphere that's just accessible to all. When for us, what's important in our home is that we're able to move, we're able to be creative, we have open space, it feels safe, it feels cozy, we have togetherness in here. I mean, you just think about words that you want your home to embrace, and I feel like we've kind of created that atmosphere. And it makes, like I said, it makes parenting like a little bit easier because we're not redirecting her all the time. It's like, no, Lucille has access to almost everything in the house, And
except for the household chemicals. Those are on a high shelf in the laundry room.
Which it even isn't that much, but
no.
Yeah, and just normalizing things, talking about where the knives are, how to use them, how to carry things, things that may be deemed dangerous. It's like, introducing it to Lucille at the right time that she's capable and developmentally ready. And that's made a world of difference in maintaining the home and cleaning the home, because we think about all the things that kids can get into. And, the more things you have, the more things that can be messy, so to speak. And we have been pretty intentional what we bring into the house and what we keep, and how that evolves as she gets older. And like, just thinking now, like, when I was cleaning the sheets today, like, Lucille gets so excited when it's cleaning the sheets day, because she sees that white mattress and she's like, I mean, not that she doesn't jump on our bed anyway. And we don't have a bed frame. Our bed's on a box spring and it's very low to the ground. And it's just like, anyone and any kid can come in our bedroom and just like have their way with jumping or whatever. So it's,
as long as they have their shoes off.
Yeah, that's the one rule, shoes off. So it's so cool to see like how even though we may not have as much space as we did before, like there's really no boundaries. It's like, this is the fence, she's the chicken. It's like free range chicken, like wherever she wants to go, it's a safe place for play and all of the above.
Yeah, I mean, that was part of the nice thing about moving into a new house, is that in the old house we had to make changes, get the household chemicals out from under the sink. Like, there was a lot of things that we did in order to make it accessible for her and allow her to get into things and explore. And it's still that way to a certain extent, but we had a blank canvas when we moved into this house, and we're able to set it up from the very beginning, being very intentional that, hey, we know we want to continue this trend with Lucille, So let's make sure we set up the house in a correct way. So we still have the cubbies that was under the TV, which we no longer have the TV. So she's got her toys in her cubbies, and then she's got toys in her closet. Like there's no like big storage bin or anything like that. It's still toys in, toys out as far as that goes to make that easy. She's got her own little kitchen, but now she's starting to explore more in our kitchen and replicate that in her own little kitchen. So there's just a lot of cool things that allow her to really explore the space. And like you said, she's really starting to get into the household chores, and whether it's trying to vacuum a little bit or to sweep up things, taking the lint out of the dryer thing. So there's just a lot of things that she's more willing to do because she has the space to do that.
Yeah, and I know Nick referenced, we talked about, we used to have specific rhythms on like how to clean the house because the house was huge. And
yeah, we needed to have those rhythms in order to make sure that the house was clean all the time.
Yeah, and everyone that was living in the house before all had full-time jobs. So it was, and I kind of felt like, I don't want to say the headmaster, but I felt like I had to step up to be responsible to like initiate the routines. And a lot of times I did the cleaning. I feel grateful that like my sister would help out. Sometimes Mark would if he was home. I know he like worked longer hours because he was a plumber, and like you would vacuum and help out. But like I had certain days where I'm like, all right, Mondays I'll dust, Tuesday we'll vacuum, Wednesday we'll do laundry. Like we had specific rhythms. And if you want to listen, if you have a big house and you need some kind of sanity in like your cleaning schedule, definitely check out that episode.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But now it's interesting. I don't feel like I need to have those rituals as deep ingrained. And now it's just kind of like, I don't know. I was reflecting with you, Nick, earlier and talking about how I think we definitely were intentional about matching our home to the bandwidth of time and energy we want to spend on maintaining it.
1,000%.
It was really thinking about, what do we want to take care of and how much time do we want to spend doing it? And that really helps streamline what you bring in the house and what you leave out. And we've been really intentional about like, even when it comes to like curtains or like blinds choice, like, what is it going to be like to dust those? How many rugs do I want to have? How many rugs do I want to take care of and vacuum? Because we have these vinyl plank floors. So we've been pretty purposeful with choosing specific things based on how much time and energy do I want to clean and maintain that.
And the answer is not a lot.
Exactly. And it's just been really interesting. I don't really feel like we've needed any kind of strict rhythms or rituals with cleaning. It's just like when things start to look dirty, I'm like, it's time to clean it. Yeah. And I clean it. It's not like ingrained. It's just kind of like feeling like, how do I feel in my bathroom today? And do I have the bandwidth to clean it, depending on like my cycles and like Lucille that day? Because now there's a lot more components involved with cleaning. So yeah, it's more like feel as we go. If I feel like, you know what, this could be use a cleaning and it's like the right time of day. Like I have the energy, Lucille could help me out. Like we do it. And it's so nice to not feel like I have to stick to a specific schedule. And I know schedules, rituals, they are so helpful when you have a lot on your plate, but I feel so grateful. All the transitions we've made have made it less on my plate, which just makes a lot of the things not needed anymore. Like those strict schedules and things to get things done, I should say.
Yeah. And to your point, I love that we can just say, hey, I'm going to vacuum now. And it's going to take 10 minutes as opposed to a half an hour, 45 minutes to vacuum the house.
Yeah.
Or, hey, I'm going to clean the bathrooms right now, or I'm going to clean the shower. We kind of, you and I both have like things that we're good at, and we kind of have those boundaries. And I think it was like that in the last house, and that's kind of transferred here. Like I do the shower, I do some of the outdoor stuff, whereas, you'll clean the sinks and the bathrooms and the toilets and stuff. And our chores as far as like dishes and cleaning up is really whoever makes dinner. It's usually the other person who kind of does the dishes. There's really no assignment there, but it's just kind of one of those things. But then we also feel each other's rhythms, and you may have had a tough day, so I'll do both dinner and dishes, or it may be the vice versa. So the other thing is just understanding who else is in the household and what they're capable of, and again, playing to their strengths, I think is a key thing. Like, you don't have to like rotate anything. It's like if I'm good at cleaning the shower and you're good at cleaning the bath, the sinks and stuff like that, then let's just keep doing that, and we do it when we need to do it. So that's been really nice, just understanding our roles and where we shine in those roles.
Yeah, and now Lucille's at the age where we can involve her in the process and get her part of the family.
And she gets excited about it.
I know, like she loves the toilet brush. She loves cleaning the mirrors now. Like I said, she helps me put laundry in the dryer and she cleans out the lint and she unloads the dishwasher, certain like the silverware now. She does a little bit of vacuuming. Like slowly and slowly, we're involving her more and more in the process. So that way it becomes also less work for us and it's more of like a team effort. And it's so cool to see that transition too, like Lucille being part of the family and doing her responsibilities alongside us, because we all live in this house and none of us have a maid. We all work together. Teamwork makes the dream work is our mantra that we're currently working on. And it's totally working. And it's just really neat to see Lucille be motivated just to be a part of the family instead of saying, if you don't do this, you're, whatever the consequences are. I'm sure one day we may have to incentively motivate her to like help out with some things, but
sure.
As far as
but
now,
not the basic responsibilities.
No.
She's gonna have to go above and beyond in order to get incentivized.
Yeah, and I've talked about this book before, but I read this amazing book that's just really ingrained. It was called Gather, Parent, and it was just how to raise helpful kids. And it says start young, start now, being a part of the family, show them your values, what's important to you guys, and just involve them in the process now. And expect it. And I'm seeing small changes in that already, even if it comes to like just helping with the groceries, like giving her one thing to carry so she knows she's a part of us, the team, the family, and we're all going to work together in some capacity. But yeah, I will say the house maintenance is, wow, so different.
Yeah.
Feels definitely lighter.
I'm going to put you on the spot here, Jilly. What is one thing that I used to do when we recorded these last episodes that now you do and I don't do?
I have no idea.
I'm sitting on it.
The bed.
Yeah.
You used to make the bed every morning.
I used to make the bed in the morning because you like a fresh bed. You would leave butt early to go to work.
Yeah.
So that left me to make the bed in the morning and make sure you stayed happy. But now you are the bed maker.
I am the bed maker. I am the homemaker. I'm not the bread maker.
No, we go to Bell to pick up bread.
We go to a pretty sexy bakery to get our sourdough. Yeah, you're right.
That's the only one I can really think of that has really shifted.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't really think about individual like responsibilities on like what we picked up, but you're right.
So we are no longer co-living. Your sister and our brother-in-law live in Maryland. We did a little bit of journey and went our separate ways, but it's been good. Like it was a good shift. I mean, it was a large house and it was certainly great to have helpful hands and stuff like that. There was obviously some I don't want to say challenges, but there was differences in how
I call them challenges. Yeah. When you live with other adults that have different habits, different ways of like, I don't want to say opinions and like how their space should be. It's, it can be challenging.
Yeah. Yeah.
We definitely grew a lot.
We definitely did grow a lot. And especially when like there was new kids in the house and everything like that. It's different styles of parenting. So it was just really interesting to be in that household and see the different ways that people do things. But ultimately now we're kind of on our own, and everything is on our own terms at this point. So we get things done when we want to get things done, and we have a lot of free time now because we're able to go back and do things like here and there. And get things done. And our weekends have just opened up completely. Like no yard work here has been a game changer. Like we can really just go wherever we want, whenever we want, without having to worry about upkeep on the house because we're able to do it just consistently throughout the week with no set schedules, and really downsizing made that all happen.
Yeah, it's funny. The neighbors that we saw today, they're like, "Man, you guys travel a lot," and we're like, "Well, that was our intention. We wanted to find some place where it was low maintenance, so we could up and go if we so choose to, and that's what we're doing, and it's been amazing." And I will say, co-living was such a beautiful experience, and if you want to hear more about that, definitely check out that episode that we'll link in the show notes.
Yeah, and that was an interesting episode too, because it was very early in the schmandemic.
The pandemic. Yeah, and I will say that it definitely provides, like, I will say now, like, when you're living with other grown-ups, and I didn't grow up really having any roommates. Like, I've lived at home my whole life. Like, my roommate was my sister, and then, of course, my mom and my dad. But yeah, like, when, my sister and her husband now were in there, it's like they're figuring out, like, their relationship, like they were growing as a couple, then they had a baby, so a lot of changes were happening between them, and you just got to have so much love and space and grace for other people, especially that you live with, that I feel like my bandwidth and patience for our situation is just like so open wide now. And it's not like I really need it. I feel like we are very simpatico on how we want to keep the house. Like, there's not that many differences. We're very much like, we like things tidy. It affects our mental space so much. But I will say that it's definitely opened my heart and mind just to have more space and grace, and like just open to different perspectives and way of seeing people and how they live. And I'm grateful for that experience. Like I say, a lot of growth happened. And I think challenges is not a bad word or negative. It just, I feel like if you look at them the right way, it just helps you evolve and, just become better to do better. So, yeah.
Growth mindset.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's what we're all about. Mindset?
We always talk about mindset, but yes, we did just have an episode on mindset. But yeah, anything else, Jilly, that you wanted to interject here?
No, I thought we could kind of move into like just life, social life things, just like how our days look different and what that looks like. And we don't have to spend a lot of time on that.
Sure, no, we will wrap it up with that.
Cool.
You want to start?
Yeah, sure.
Your life has changed tremendously since 2020.
Yeah, I mean, so to paint a picture, as far as like work life, like we both had full-time jobs. I was a full-time teacher. So we both had like 8-hour plus days, at least a half-hour commute to and from work. And, weekends were maintaining a home. And we did have some free time, but it was, I would say, kind of limited, By the time we got home on weeknights, I feel like we were those typical people. We're like, we're tired, let's eat dinner.
Yeah, we eat dinner and then
watch a
clean
show,
up and then
clean
watch,
up. Yeah, and then the weekends were cleaning, yard work, getting a little adventure, maybe possibly a date night if my mom was, well, my mom's always willing to support, so I'm so grateful for that. But we balanced it the best we could. And I remember reading in my journals, like when I was working, like that was something I was really working on with my intentions, was just like balance. Like, how do I get as close to equal amount of time in play, in work, in, growth, and just doing what I want to do. And now I have definitely have that. Yeah. For sure. Now I am at home. I guess, if you had to label it, you can call me a homemaker. I am a mother. I am unschooling with my daughter, and I also nanny a little bit. I do a little bit of photo editing. Like, I feel like I'm able to have space and energy to dabble in fun projects. I can make a little bit of money doing things I love. I mean, I get to bring Lucille to work with me when I nanny, like things that I think about, like what is a job I can do where like Lucille can be with me, we can do life together. I can still make a little bit of money, but it can be something that's going to light us both up. And, these opportunities are just presenting themselves to me. And it's really wild when you just kind of like let go of control and surrender and follow the fun to see what the universe brings to you and all that woo-woo stuff. I totally am a believer in that. So now I feel like our days are filled with like going to parks, meeting up with homeschooling mamas, doing hikes together. I've been dabbling in different nature groups. We go to the library once a week. We do errands together. We just do life together. We grocery shop together. it's pretty fucking blissful.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about what our days look like. And you work at home, so I feel like we have so much togetherness as a family, more than we've ever had before.
We do.
And so much time and space. And I'm grateful for the space that we put in our calendar for spontaneous adventures. Like we can go to a winery, a brewery, go to a park, have a fun getaway on the weekends, go visit friends and family. Like there's just so much opportunity for what we choose to do versus what we have to do. And that's exactly what our intentions were when we first started this podcast. We were dreaming about this, writing about it. And it's here and it's now. And it's something that I hope I never take for granted. And I'm just so grateful for where we are right now and all the work and small steps that we've done to get here.
Yeah. It's a long journey, but we've put in the work. We've put in the intentions out into the universe, and all of that stuff has gotten us to where we are right now, and has allowed us the super flexibility. And yes, for work for me has changed since we started this podcast. I used to go into an office 45-minute drive, and I'd be at my desk pretty much from the time I got there until the time I left. But now that I'm able to work from home, I get time with Lucille in the morning, and I can just go right to my desk. I've got time to walk in the afternoon. No, I don't feel like it's a bad thing to like just go outside and take an hour to get away and then come back and finish my day. And then, we get right into our evenings, whether it's going to the sauna really quickly for 20, 30 minutes and then having dinner, then having family time. Like there is definitely just more time for family and us. There's more time for socialness with neighbors and, taking Lucille to see her friends. And I get a chance to talk with parents doing that stuff. So it's just really cool. And a lot of it is also the age where Lucille's at now, too. She's a social little butterfly. And that allows us to be social with other people as well. So it's just been really cool how things have evolved and how things have just gotten just so much better with where we're at because of this move. And of course, I miss my friends back at home, but I still get to see them pretty often, which is awesome.
Yeah, I don't remember which episode it was, but it was like this really cool reflection after we moved that I think I'm spending more time with family than I did in Virginia than I was in Maryland because of the amount of time that I had to go to work. Like the amount of time dedicated to a full-time job was significant. And now we kind of like broken those doors down, and now we have all kinds of flexibility in traveling because you can work from anywhere.
Yep.
And now I'm able to help out like my mom watching my sister's kids, and I feel like I'm just soaking in more time with family and friends and quality time, like a lot longer, not just these short spurts. And it's been just this wonderful component that I did not think was going to happen. I didn't think I was going to be able to spend longer in like a quality amount of time with like friends and family. But because of the move, it's definitely opened doors to go deeper versus like these shallow experiences of just like quick spurts here and there, seeing people, So yeah, it's been, I feel like our social life and our balance, if you say, quote unquote balance, has been exactly what I've dreamed of, 2-3 years ago. So just gonna keep dreaming and keep being grateful for what we have, and we'll see what unfolds.
That's right. See where it takes us.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I think we'll leave it there. Jilly, do you have any resources besides the episodes that we referenced earlier that we will put into the show notes?
I found a sweet, I guess you call it blog, and it was just a list of all of these amazing intentional living quotes. And I feel like they align so much to like all the changes we've made to get where we are today. And I'm just going to read like 5 of them. There was like so many good ones. And I feel like these are the ones like you just want to write down in your journal or just as an affirmation. And it's a great reminder just to keep pursuing what the life you want versus what you think you're supposed to do. Okay.
Word.
Here we go. I'll read 3 of them. Intentional living is the art of making our own choices before others' choices make us. Richie Norton. You can have anything you want if you want it badly enough. That's your favorite, Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, Abe.
And I really like this one. It's by Rumi. Respond to every call that excites your spirit. I think that
like
sometimes
that.
it's the hardest.
Follow
it's the
that
hardest part. Is like you feel a feeling, you know it's exciting, but it's like you have to make that choice to follow it, and it can be really fucking scary.
Yeah.
But I feel like we would not be where we are today if we didn't make scary, exciting choices, that we took risks, took time to plan and really think hard, but like just followed it, just to see where it would lead us, and know that like either way we're going to grow and we'll figure it out. We're all together, and that's what's important.
Absolutely. Good
So,
stuff.
yeah.
Are those quotes of the day too then?
No, I have one more.
All right.
But there was
is this
just-
a juicy one?
I think so.
Let's go for it.
This is by John C. Maxwell. An unintentional life accepts everything and does nothing. An intentional life embraces only the things that will add to the mission of significance.
Yeah.
That was good.
That was really good. Good find, Jilly.
I know, right?
I like it. All right. And then your take action challenge for this week is
Pursue your most intentional as hell life. Follow the call. Follow what excites you.
love it.
Yeah.
Well done, Jilly. All right, folks. Well, that is going to do it for this week's episode. If you like this episode, please do us a favor and help us spread the message. You can do this by writing a review on Apple or Spotify. This helps us get in front of a lot more people. Or you can simply share this episode with a friend, because that also gets us in front of more people. And remember, sharing sparks a conversation. Conversation leads to action, and action is how we're able to live a happy and intentional as hell lifestyle. We want to thank you all for listening today, and we will see you again next week.
See y'all later.